Hello， 大家好，我是 Terry， 现在人在温哥华。那今天这集是延续上一集采访我的 mentor Stan Chen 的 Part2。Stan 是一个资深工程师主管，在矽谷有很多年的管理经验，目前是几家新创公司的顾问。如果你还没有看过 Part1 的话，我会建议你先把那一集看完。那今天这一部分呢，我会问 Stan 如何从资深工程师再往上走，然后我们讨论一下面试一个工程师的时候，除了技术方面，还有哪些其他的特质是非常重要的。最后 Stan 会分享一下他自己是如何带领一个团队，如何提升团队的士气跟效率。那如果上一集对你有帮助的话，一定要先帮我把这一集点个赞，因为我相信你看完这一集一定可以学到很多东西。
Next question, this is something I do want to ask personally.
Okay.
So right now I'm a senior level software engineer. So how do I become like a staff engineer, or what distinguishes an engineer from senior level to say staff or principal level?
Very, very hard question in there. Because the whole thing is that I can tell you that I don't see any standard definition out there that says that, well, this is the definition of a junior, intermediate, senior, staff, like principal, architect, like yada yada yada. Like I don't see it anywhere.
But I guess like the years of experience or the projects that you worked on before kind of contribute to that a little bit, right?
So it does, but at the same time, how do you measure this?
Yeah.
Because you can have someone that works 3 years over at a startup and like basically just figure out everything themselves, like on a very technical level, being able to do machine learning, architecture, infrastructure, building a scalable system, right? And you can have someone who has been staying at some ecosystem, no offense on ecosystem, I may get in a lot of trouble for this, and work 10 years on a very specialized project but has no idea how to do database.
Yeah.
Right? Then in that case, who is closer to a senior engineer? Who is closer to a principal engineer? So when you're talking about like senior level engineers, like you're on a certain level, how do you want to grow and get to the next thing? You have to understand what the next thing is first. At least have an idea of what you want the next thing to be. Is it that you foresee yourself to be an evangelist? To go into the company and teach people and build tools and teach people how to use tools to become better and like more efficient in their job? Is it that you want to be able to lead teams to actually show them and be able to take on bigger and bigger projects? Is it that you want to have more time spending on specialization, which I just said about some ecosystem, again no offense, right? To get into like something that is like very specific that requires a lot more time to do. That's where your growth paths are going to be, and in different companies they can all be called principal engineers. So the question is back to you is, what do you want for your next step?
I see.
Right? So think about that. Like if you're saying that, hey, I want to learn how to take on bigger and bigger projects, and my answer would be that you should know that at some point of time, you're going to run out of your physical typing speed. It's not going to be able to do bigger and bigger projects. At some point of time, you will have to subcontract it out to delegate this stuff. Then in that case, the first thing that you should learn is, how do I actually get a team? How do I actually start organizing people so that in the group of us, we can actually build something.
I see.
Right?
Yeah.
And I would say that like if you're going to do that during work, talking with your boss and actually getting the opportunity to take on bigger projects while bringing on other people. Sometimes the easiest, bring on interns.
Yeah.
Right? Bring on interns, bring on juniors. At the same time, you learn how to teach, you learn how to manage, you learn how to lead. Then you start growing and getting bigger and bigger in terms of size and getting enough feedback from both management, your peers, and also the people that were working under you. That's how I actually start off.
I see.
Yeah, majority of the time I would tell you that like once I get to a certain level, a lot of times the feedback is directly from people that I manage.
Yeah.
Right? So
that makes sense. So would you say like as your seniority progresses, the coding skill or the hard skill itself is not so important anymore? Focus should be more on people skill and how you manage projects and how you build a team.
If you're talking about proportion, a lot of times that's true. But as the answer of my previous question goes, it really depends on how you want to grow. I'm still seeing like some really, really brilliant engineers. You want me to lead a team? No. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to. Like I want to focus on building and designing good systems, and they just end up being very good at it. They would still be able to figure out how to define the work. But they would be paired up with project managers that actually help manage the people. They would be the one that actually say that this is the roadmap, this is what I foresee, and their expertise comes in taking a very nebulous problem and breaking it down, and that's their specialty. And it is still okay with that, right? It doesn't mean that the more experienced you are, the more you have to teach or like to manage and whatnot. It would be great if you do. Like it's awesome, that like our society and our industry needs it. But if you want to, you can focus on doing something you specialize in. It's kind of like getting a PhD. Like it doesn't mean that you have to do like specific. You can choose whatever topic you want.
I see. So it's not really just a singular path. It's a lot of things. When you get to that level, you can specialize. It depends on what you want.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's a free market. Like nowadays, I walk to companies. I don't try to get them to like identify me as one thing or another. I present to them what I know, what I have, what I can help them with, and they decide if they want to buy it or not.
I see.
Right? Yeah. Like I'm my own product. The most important thing is like knowing yourself on what you want to become and trying to market that and see if there's any like buyers for that.
I see.
那我们先暂停一下，今天这支影片是由 BingX 赞助。BingX 是一家2018年在新加坡注册的加密货币交易平台，专注在衍生品交易，像是合约，他们也有一般的现货交易。那 App 里面也有跟单跟网格交易的功能。公司在美国、加拿大、澳洲跟欧洲都有跟当地的监管机构申请牌照，所以算是一个安全公平的交易平台。那我自己用这个 App 的感受就是，我觉得他们的 UI 做得很好，而且我觉得很酷的就是他们有一个叫做网格交易的模式。因为加密货币本身波动很大，如果价格在一个区间上下震动一段时间，是有很多机会可以在这个中间获利的。网格交易的方式就是透过自动低买高卖来赚取震荡区间的差价。那他们也有 copy trade 一键跟单的功能，就是你可以直接跟随你觉得你可以信任的交易员来下单。好处就是你自己不需要去学习那些技术面的操作方式，你只需要寻找一个适合自己风险的交易员，设好止损就可以开始跟单了。那现在用我的注册连结，前100名用户就可以拿到额外50U 的正金，可以用来做交易。注册人数越多的话，官方提供的额外正金也会越多，正金赚取的盈利是可以直接拿出来使用的。那新用户注册本身就有125U 的新人礼包。这个额外的50U 是这是 BingX 特别提供的福利，福利的名字也非常的帅气，叫做泰瑞好帅。那具体 App 的使用方式包含正金的领取、使用教学，还有一些专业的止盈止损设定。考量到有海外的观众，这是有提供大家一个专属的 Telegram 社群，里面会有专门的管理员提供教学跟服务，还有包含每周线上的交易课程，教大家怎么样成为交易员，都会在社群里面提供。如果有兴趣的话，可以用我的注册连结注册。
I was curious, like when you personally interview an engineer, what do you hear the most, other than the technical aspect? Assuming the person is technically strong enough for the team.
It's a gripe that we have like in software engineering, especially software engineering interviews. A lot of companies that I go with, like I go to even some experience from that. Like it's go in an interview and people just keep throwing you technical questions, like algorithmic questions, right? Given an array this size and this stuff, like figure it out and all this stuff. A smart person of a certain experience would be able to find the patterns and answer you those. But in work, when you choose a partner, right, for starting a business, or when you are building your team, what do you want them to be?
Someone I can work with.
Someone you can work with. What does that mean? When
someone I can trust, someone I can learn from, and someone who's genuine and smart, honest, and that's something I look for in general.
That is the most important thing, right? Someone that you can trust, right? Someone that you can learn from, right? The whole thing is that how do you actually get that? Well, first, you need to make sure that they're good at communication. If they suck at it, it's going to be a hell of a ride, right? Like if they can clearly articulate what they are thinking and convey the idea to you and back and forth, right? That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, okay.
right? Like so a lot of times like I still use these technical questions and like algorithmic questions. Now, things that are going to get harder is going to be the next thing. How do you think that you can work with this person? That means that personality has to be there.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not just saying that a boring personality or whatnot. Like I'm talking about like, hey, if we're going to have an argument, are you going to stand on your ground when you're right and also being able to listen when there is a discussion going on, or are you going to say that no, I'm right, I don't care about any of you guys, like yada yada yada, or are you going to be backing down everything? Is kind of like, yes, I'm junior, I will listen to everything you say, kind of thing, right? Like, are you able to get a good conversation, a good sparring session happening? Right? So for me, an interview is relatively dynamic. I'm trying to see if I can actually poke them a little bit and see how they respond, right? See if they are going to be dismissive, seeing if they are actually like listening and actually understanding the information and then regurgitating or like disagreeing with the ideas, seeing how much they are going to be willing to actually do the feedback. So that's part of that. Third thing is about reliability. Now that is going to be extremely hard. How do you know someone is going to be reliable when you're interviewing with them?
You only spend like 30 minutes with the person. It's really hard to
Exactly.
tell, right?
But generally, there are things that you can rely on. Some of the things actually is your intuition. One of the strongest things that we have to rely on is understanding our intuition. A lot of times, what I have seen is that people who have great attention to detail also hold great responsibility as themselves.
I see.
Is this a type of person that you feel like that they see a problem and they will own the problem?
Ownership.
Exactly. Seeing that and like trying to do that a lot has to come with PPS experience as well. So when we talk about like, hey, tell me about your your history, about like your previous work and whatnot. Get into work situation, talk about what happened, how did they handle it, why did they step up, why did they not step up, what is their reaction, what is their feeling about a situation or the situation that they are talking about, and from that you just glean more and more of their personality. I believe that technical capabilities I can train. Right? Give me a smart person and I can train them within X amount of months and they will become capable. Give me a lazy person and I will spend more time working on the person than I'll be doing work. A non-motivated person or someone who actually, let's just say, not a good personality match with me, it's not going to work out. Because it's so much harder to actually adjust personality than it is to adjust technical capabilities.
I see.
Right?
That makes sense.
So,
a lot of my audience, they're in Asia.
Right.
Asian traditions, like you're growing up, parents teach us to be humble, right?
And
it's very different over here. Let's say you come here and then you start a new career in the US, North America, or Silicon Valley.
Right.
How do you kind of like balance it out, and what advice would you give people growing up in Asia?
there is a difference between knowing what you know and being good at what you do and bragging about it. There is a fine line about it. Usually I cross that line, so apologies on that. The humility in it happens the easiest when you are genuine. If you are able to be more transparent, then people would understand you. Let people understand you, and when you do that, you get a lot more leeway. I try to communicate my intentions, and if they align or if they understand it, then people usually appreciate it. And that like alleviates a lot of problems about like humility or like trying to be saying too many sorries. Well, I still do that. That's a problem with Canada, not I guess both. But like, I don't know if I answered your questions.
It does, yeah.
Okay.
When Stan and I, we met back in the days, he was the mentor to help build the team I was at. And I was very fortunate, to have Stan, and found it very helpful to have a mentor at early stage of my career. How would you help a team to be more productive and, just generally make people happy and motivated?
I don't know, like in my opinion, I corrupted him. Yes, evil. The most important factor in a workplace that makes people happy is empowerment. People being listened to and people feeling that they are being trusted to work on something. That sense of empowerment actually gives a lot of satisfaction to people. Ownership is in there, but a lot of companies, a lot of teams, they do this. They say that, here, you own this, right?
Yeah.
But you should do it this way, this way, this way. Oh, don't do it like this. Do it like this, right? Just telling people like exactly, you own this, but no, you don't really own this, right? Ownership without empowerment, it's just responsibility. Ownership is actually both responsibility and empowerment, right? Usually I tell my boss that if I own a team, I have the power to choose who's in my team. I have the power to discipline people in my team. I have the power to actually enable people in my team. And if I cannot do that, then it's just responsibility blaming. I don't want to be a scapegoat. I don't want to set myself up and by extension setting the team that I built to be in failure. So they have to understand what that ownership, empowerment, responsibility model is. Generally is that, and second part of it is about having an open conversation, being able to be free with your thoughts, to feel comfortable that you can actually say whatever you want to say. If you disagree with something, you are going to be able to say it out. If you want something to be changed, you can raise it up. You eliminate the fear of like offending someone, then good ideas come out, then collaboration comes out, and camaraderie comes out. Those are the two things that I believe are important. I don't think that we can actually utilize one methodology and push it to everyone. I think that is the wrong thing. Like standardization, like doesn't work.
Right? Yeah.
If you are paying top dollars for a good team, then you need to utilize those teams by recognizing how the niches and different quirks each person has and how to actually gear them and help them to be successful while challenging them to be growing. I believe that when people are happy at their work and they feel like that they are growing, they don't feel like that they want to leave. Unless you're grossly underpaying them, right? But if they feel like that they are happy, they enjoy the people that they are working with, they are being challenged at all times, that they are growing at all times, they know that this is the place for them.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Stan, for joining us today. And I'm sure this will give people pretty good guidance and something to think about, right? Yeah. And at least I learned a lot today. If you find this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. And if you have other questions that you want to ask, just leave a comment down below. And yeah, I'll see you next time then. Bye bye.